What's going on? Welcome back to yet another episode of the Normal Baseball Podcast. Somehow, Carlos Correa is a New York Met, and the MLB offseason is still in full effect. Let's talk about it. What's going on? Welcome back to yet another episode of the Normal Baseball Podcast. I'm Alex Normal Dog. That's Lewis. And a lot's been happening in baseball. It's been around a week since we were last here. I think exactly a week. And wow. So much has happened. I'm very excited to talk about it. If you're listening, make sure to subscribe, like, comment, share, show your support. We really appreciate it. But let's get into it. Let's get into the news. A lot's happened. Fun times, and obviously we have to start with this morning at around 3 o'clock Eastern Time, 3 a.m. Eastern Time this morning. A whole fiasco happened, and somehow Carlos Correa is a New York Met.
Yeah.
Obviously, just a week ago,
6 days ago,
Correa signed a 13-year deal with the San Francisco Giants.
Well, he didn't sign the deal.
Well, he agreed to the 13-year, $350 million deal with the Giants, and just yesterday at around noonish, it was said that the Giants canceled their press conference to introduce Carlos Correa, meaning he hadn't fully signed the deal yet. Something went wrong with his physical, because you know how when you see signing, that blah blah blah, someone signing, pending a physical.
Right.
Something went wrong in that physical.
Something had to be wrong.
And the Giants didn't want to take him anymore, so they didn't want to sign him. He became a free agent once again, and very quickly after he officially became a free agent, Uncle Stevie and the Mets swooped in and signed him to a 12-year, $315 million deal. The Mets strike again is all I have to say. I mean, that is insane. What do we think?
So, initial reaction is, what was the issue?
Right, we don't know what the issue is yet.
Because if a player just failed a physical, right, and the team announces, okay, we're not going to sign him, like, we're canceling the deal, avoiding it because he didn't pass his physical, how can he now go to another team and pass that physical? I feel like I'm missing something.
Well, the Giants, even if he didn't pass the physical, the Giants still could have signed him.
Right.
So he could still go to another team and sign a deal, even if he doesn't pass the physical. I want to know what's really wrong, though.
Yeah, me too.
Because, is he gonna miss all of 2023?
That would be insane.
But you have to think it's something like that, because what could they have possibly seen that the Giants were like, we don't want to sign you?
It has to be something that would impact his play, not only now, but in the future, especially if you're signing a guy to such a long-term deal. It had to be something major, but at the same time, how major is it if now the Mets are going to swoop in and steal him for 12 years, $315 million?
Yeah, it makes no sense. It just
doesn't.
Because or are we going to see the Mets give him a physical and be like, oh wow, yeah, the Giants were right, we're not signing you?
Yeah.
But what could that be? He showed no implications of injury during his season. He played a whole season. Mm-hmm. I mean, he was injured for a little bit, but at the end of the season, he was fine. He was playing, he hit 302 or whatever, he had home runs, he was a Gold Glover, Platinum Glove borderline. I mean, he was a very good player last year. Something must have happened between then.
The first thing that comes to my mind is shoulder issues. It's the reason why we saw Conforto sit out a whole year last season, was because of shoulder issues, and that's obviously a big thing for a guy with an absolute cannon of an arm like Correa. You need to be able to move your arm, and your shoulder is a very important part of that. It could be something with his back that could affect his bat speed later down the line, or in his ability to turn on inside fastballs, which he has been given a lot of throughout his career so far, and he's been able to keep up with it. But if it's something with his back and affecting his range of motion. But then again, I'm not a doctor. I don't really know for sure, but it has to be something major.
Yeah, it's just crazy to think.
Or is it just collusion? Did Correa walk into the Giants, notice like, hey, I don't have an opportunity to win here. Let me fail my physical. Oh, I can't walk on the straight line. Oh, look at that, my spine's bent.
No, I don't think it's that. I think something would have been heard if it was that. I think I trust Correa enough to not. Although, but I don't think it was that. There's no way that high level of collusion is going on. I just think it's a matter of something's wrong and we don't know what it is. And I like to think that the Mets don't know what it is yet, but they wanted to agree to a deal so they can physical him. And if they think that the problem isn't that bad, then they'll sign him.
Or Correa can be the first guy to sign with 3 teams in one offseason.
Yeah, I mean, I do think that it does work out for Correa more, because it seemed like right when he became a free agent, he was like, all right, I'll just go to the Mets then. They're winning. I do think Correa wants to win. That's why he didn't stay in Minnesota.
Yeah.
He wants to win. He doesn't.
He wants to win, and he wanted the big paycheck that came with it.
Yeah, he wanted as many years as he can get, and he wanted as much money as he can get. Yes, but he also wants to win, showing by the fact that he's now a Met within seconds after leaving the Giants. He was never even there.
And I mean, another thing that you want that I want to just touch on is something that we mentioned earlier when we were just talking by ourselves. If the Giants found something wrong, why would they not have tried to figure it out, maybe restructure the deal so if he did need to sit out for an ample amount of time or even this entire season upcoming, it wouldn't be such a tax on them. I don't get why as soon as it was they found an issue, okay, throw him back into free agency. It doesn't add up in my head.
Nothing adds up.
Or it's just collusion. It's just collusion.
Now the Giant. It's not collusion. I'm riding off that train. I don't think it's collusion. Now the funny part of this story is that the Giants have been screwed over by a New York team twice this offseason. So not only did they not get Aaron Judge, but now they thought they had 2 of the major free agents, and then they lost both of them to New York teams.
Yeah.
I mean, full circle. Now, what are the Giants doing? Nothing.
Hell if I know.
They got Mitch Haniger. And a couple of Ross Stripling, Sean Manaea. That's really it. As far as the Mets...
Or could it have been that the Giants realized they got in over their head a little bit with how expensive it would have been?
No. It said physical. It said medical complications. They're not gonna say never mind. If it was just them saying they don't want the deal anymore, they could have said that, I believe. I don't see what's stopping them from saying,
I find it funny.
I take that back.
I find it funny that this all happened basically 24 hours after Mets owner Steve Cohen did a whole press release with the New York Post answering questions, and one thing that they talked about was Correa, and he said that he wanted to put his hat in the ring but got there a little bit too late, and ironically he was there a little bit too early.
Yeah, because I mean he saw the opportunity and he took it, so good for them.
Yeah.
Good for him.
Just
insane. I would like to say this New York Mets team is
stacked.
He's very, very good. You got Brandon Nimmo. You can only assume Carlos Correa is going to become a third baseman now.
Yeah.
He's taking the A-Rod path.
Yes.
He's doing exactly what A-Rod did.
That's a good one.
He's doing the same thing. A-Rod came to the Yankees, became a third baseman. Nimmo, Correa, Lindor, Pete Alonso, Jeff McNeil, Starling Marte. Those first 6, that wins you games right there.
Matches up with the Padres.
And then you have Danny fucking Burgers. At DH, Mark Canha, Omar Narvaez, who they just got a couple days ago, actually. That's another thing. Mets got Omar Narvaez.
Yeah.
I mean, they needed another catcher because what's his name was absolutely terrible. James McCann was terrible. They also have Francisco Alvarez, who hopefully he plays more games this season. I'm excited if he does, He wasn't great in the games he played, but he's also a rookie, so you have to give him some time.
Yeah, give him a full spring training, throw him right into the big leagues, and see what happens. I mean, this is a perfect lineup to experiment with the number one prospect in baseball.
Oh yeah, he has so much room.
He can fail all he wants, but the lineup of Lindor, Correa, McNeil, Alonso,
I am a little worried.
They can succeed.
I am a little worried because they still do have Darren Ruff. And we know how Mets fans feel about Darren Ruff.
Well, he'll start Game 7 of the World Series.
Starting pitcher.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
And starting catcher. And starting first baseman.
But, just like that, this is how you know your team upgraded. Your starting third baseman last season is now your backup third baseman. And he's worse by a significant amount.
Yeah. There's a marginal gap.
It's just crazy. Now, on the bench, they have Tomas Nido. Like I said, Darren Ruff, Eduardo Escobar, who was the third baseman last year, and is being replaced with Correa, we can only assume. And then Luis Guillorme.
Correa becomes the best bench piece in all of baseball.
Yeah, no, that's not. But then you look at their pitching staff, and then you're like, wow, yeah, this team is probably going to beat a lot of other teams. Justin Verlander, Max Scherzer, Kodai Senga, if he proves to be what they think he's going to be, that's going to be dangerous, just those three alone. Then you got Carlos Carrasco, who I've heard they're looking to trade. Yes. But even if they can't, that's still a very good fourth or fifth starter, back-end starter. And then you got Jose Quintana, who obviously was really good last year. We'll see if he can keep it up this year. I mean, for the Mets' sake, hopefully he can, because that's what they're looking for. Their bullpen's really good, too. They got Brooks Raley from the Rays. They just re-signed Adam Ottavino on a
2-year, $14.5 million deal.
2-year deal. They got John Curtis, Elizier Hernandez, I believe that's how you say it, from the Marlins.
Sounds about right.
David Peterson, obviously. They still have Edwin Diaz. His deferred payments. He's going to become the next Bobby Bonilla. David Robertson, who they also signed. What was David Robertson's deal?
1 year, $10 million.
David Robertson, 1 year, $10 million. They are. It's going to be a scary time for the NL East. Although the NL East is looking very good. The other two teams.
Yeah, Phillies look good. The Braves, although they've lost Dansby Swanson, which will be, I guess, our next topic, they still look solid.
Yeah. First, I want to say, bite or spit. Carlos Correa playing over half the games next season.
I'll bite it.
I'm going to spit it. I think something's got to be wrong.
So you're going to spit on Carlos Correa?
I'm spitting on Carlos Correa playing over half the games next season. Something's got to be wrong.
I think he'll play.
There's no way the Giants
It would be really funny if he played all 162. It would be really funny.
If he plays a significant amount next season, it must have been, like you were saying, the Giants just said they didn't want to pay him anymore. Yeah.
It would be really funny if he played all 160. You know what? I'm gonna root for Correa to play all 162.
I mean, so I want to see him play. I mean, he's a good player. He's fun to watch. So
yeah, be a lot of fun.
Him and Lindor in the same lineup. It's a crazy world we're living in. Steve Cohen has way too much money.
You know, if you could have stood outside Citi Field for the last home game of 2019 with a sign that just had this lineup on it, saying all future Mets, I think they would have brought you to the nearest insane asylum.
Yeah.
Steve Cohen has turned the Mets around, has turned the franchise around, has brought the light at the end of the tunnel. He has brought it into the tunnel. There is no dark time anymore for the Mets. And this now reaching over that luxury tax by $300 more million is absurd. It's insane.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how one has that much money to just throw around. But he's a fan. He's a Mets fan.
He's a Mets
fan. He bought
fan,
the team and he's doing what he wants.
Yep.
I want to talk... I mean, I don't want to get too far into this, but, just first reaction. Should MLB have a salary cap?
Yes. I think that this kind of shows how unbalanced the league can be made. And obviously, championships are not won in December, January. They're won in October. So we can't, there's not too much to say about it now, but does it kind of worry me that now, moving forward, any free agent really can just go to the Mets and say, I'll give you all I can, and they'll throw whatever number it takes to get him? Yes. And can every other team in baseball do the same thing? Yes. Should there be a salary floor as well? Yes. But it's the beauty of baseball that we don't have a time limit to the games. We don't have a salary cap. But there does need to be something more penalizing for people who do go over at any point.
Fair. I mean, they've tried making it. They've tried making it so that he doesn't want to go over, and it's quite obvious he does not care about going over the salary cap.
So Cohen saw the new Steve Cohen tax in the CBA and went, I don't care. I just simply do not care.
Yeah, no.
And that's how it's going to be. So it's going to be cool, like, watching the team. But if this team runs through the league, like, handedly, which they can with the lineup, the rotation, the bullpen that they have, and the room to add more because Steve Cohen just wants to keep spending money, it kind of worries me because, yes, it would be fun to see a dynasty and a repeat champion in baseball because we haven't seen one in like 20 years or so since the late 90s, early 2000 Yankees. But is it really the best for the game if we just have these guys running through baseball year in and year out? But then again, the season hasn't started. There's no way to tell.
We'll see, because we said the same things about Steve Cohen last offseason.
We said the same thing about the Padres last offseason.
Padres, Steve Cohen, everyone. And look, those teams did not make the World Series. The Astros still won the World Series. It's like, we'll see. We'll see once the season starts. We'll see what happens.
Can you buy a championship? We'll find out.
I'm worried about the Braves, man. I'm really worried about the Braves.
Why's that?
I mean, so we'll talk about this in a little bit, but they lost Dansby Swanson. That's official. We'll talk about that in a little bit, though. But their team needs improvements, and we're far enough into the offseason where there aren't that many options left. There aren't that many all-star options left to go spend, go get better players. There's just not enough time.
No.
And I'm a little worried. I mean, we know they got Sean Murphy. Yes, he's going to bat .250. He's going to be a very good defensive catcher. But you had William Contreras, who was an all-star.
Yeah.
You lose Dansby Swanson. Now you have Vaughn Grisham. You're relying on a rookie player who played not much last season. I mean, he played like 40-something games last season.
How many of those were at short? None of them. Dansby played every game, I think.
I don't know, but you're relying now on a rookie who, yes, he batted .291 in the games he played last season, but you're still relying on a rookie to be your shortstop. I could be wrong. I mean, I like Vaughn Grisham. From the games I've seen him play, I like Vaughn Grisham. He was on one of my fantasy teams for a while. Sleeper candidate. He was very good. Yeah. But then you got like Marcell Ozuna, who has not been good recently. I mean, not been good on and off the field. Who's their left fielder right now? Eddie Rosario, a guy who barely played last season.
And when he did play, did not look like
wasn't playing good.
NLCS MVP that he was.
Granted, yes, you still have Ronald Acuna Jr. Michael Harris just won Rookie of the Year. He's going to be a good player for probably the foreseeable future. You have a lot of these guys locked up. You have Austin Riley, Matt Olson, Ozzie Albies, yes. And then your pitching staff, you got Spencer Strider, you got Max Fried, you got, who else do they have? Charlie Morton, Kyle Wright. But I think there's room for improvement. And I don't know exactly what those improvements could be.
Well, they need
an outfielder.
The issue right now with the Braves is that, yes, they have these young guys and they're giving young guys opportunities. We're going to see Vaughn Grisham play every day, basically at short, unless he loses the competition between him and, I forgot their shortstop prospect's name, but he's getting an invite to spring training.
It's gonna be. I'm telling you, it's gonna be Vaughn Grisham.
Yeah, I think
there's no competition.
I think it's gonna be Vaughn Grisham as well. However, like we've seen it 2 seasons in a row now, where the Braves, sure, they can get these really good deals for these like young stars and everything, but when it comes to the actual superstars that make their team in Freddie Freeman and Dansby Swanson, 2 guys who were crucial in a World Series championship team, they can't retain them. There's obviously a limit to how much money the Braves are willing to spend on individual players, and I think that's why Alex Anthopoulos has been so... Anthopoulos has been so good at working out these deals with young players who are good, because he knows the closer they get to free agency, the more expensive it's going to get, and it seems like the ownership group doesn't want to spend that amount of money.
Right, like what you were saying. I mean, it just makes sense because when you look at it, yes, they're paying all these guys very little amounts of money. They lock them up early. It makes sense that's why they do it, because they don't want to pay big money for these guys.
Yeah.
And also, why would you pay big money when you can sign them to these smaller deals? When the players are younger, they're going to be more enticed to take these smaller deals.
Because nothing is really decided yet. But for guys like Freeman and Dansby Swanson, who are perennial all-stars, World Series champions, have done everything, they kind of look at the offers that the Braves give them and kind of scoff at it. Yeah, it's not fair.
I'm a little disappointed. I mean, you're a team that just won the World Series 2 years ago. You had Freddie Freeman, Dansby Swanson, core parts of your team.
The core of the team.
The core of the team, you let both of them walk in back-to-back off seasons. I know the Freeman thing might not have fully been their fault, but then get back Dansby.
Yeah.
But to be fair, I think the reason were okay with Dansby leaving is because I think they think that they have something really special in Vaughn Grisham based on how he played last offseason. Which is completely understandable. He played very good last season, and giving him normal playing time, he could be an extremely good player next season. I'm just worried about their outfield. You got Eddie Rosario and not outfield, but Eddie Rosario and Marcell Ozuna. That's not going to cut it for a team like this.
Not at all.
Eddie Rosario's not going to play 2020 to 2021 playoff Eddie Rosario every year, and he didn't last year. It was shown. Marcell Ozuna was terrible last year.
Horrendous.
It's just, but their bench isn't terrible. I mean, for bench pieces, I mean, yeah, I don't think it's maybe as good as having Eduardo Escobar on the bench like the Mets do, but you have Travis d'Arnaud, Orlando Arcia, Sam Hilliard, and Jordan Luplow, which
what a weird.
Sam Hilliard and Jordan Luplow weren't great last year, but they didn't play a lot, so we'll see what they turn out to be. d'Arnaud is going to be good. Arcia is going to be middle of the pack, so I don't think those two are bad. I just think they need to sign someone, but there are free agent outfielders left out there. You got who do we have? Duvall. They could still resign him. He was good for them last year.
Yeah.
Tommy Pham, David Peralta, who steer away from David Peralta. He's kind of old.
Tommy Pham.
Same thing with Tommy Pham, Adam Duvall. All the remaining free agent outfielders are pretty old. I mean, Jerks and Profar would probably be a really good fit on this team.
Yeah, he would fit really well. But I think that there are way too many teams in the market for Jerks and Profar that I don't think he's going to really want. I don't think that he will sign with Atlanta.
Well, we'll see. I mean,
I'll take the field.
It's pretty enticing to sign with the Braves. They have a good build. They just need a couple more pieces.
Yeah. They need two superstars at shortstop and first base.
My point is that there still are a lot of outfielders left out there that would be fine if they brought him in.
You know, the Braves...
Tim Castro.
Congratulations, Braves. You guys just got Michael Conforto. In my head, that's where Michael Conforto's going. And I'm settled on it.
I wouldn't mind. The issue is, have we heard a single Conforto rumor this offseason? Legitimate
rumor. Nothing is this could get serious. There have been teams to check in on him and to see what the gauge is. But the problem is that he's a Stat Wars client coming off of not playing for a year, where the year prior he looked solid, but not, superstar caliber as Cody Bellinger once was. And they want a 1 year, $20 million prove-it deal, but no one wants to give $20 million to a wild card.
I mean, it's just crazy. I'm just still trying to wrap my head around everything. This offseason is going to be fun. I mean, this season is going to be fun. The NL East is going to be very, very competitive.
Very.
And because when you look at the last competitive team in the NL East, the Marlins, no, I'm kidding, the Philadelphia Phillies, they got better too. They added Trey Turner. He's a 5-tool all-star MVP caliber shortstop.
Yeah. And arguably one of the best in the baseball.
So yes, the Mets also added a 5-star, 5-tool MVP caliber shortstop, but so did the
Phillies.
So did the Phillies. And the Phillies, we've talked about it before, Trey Turner, Kyle Schwarber, Rhys Hoskins, JT Realmuto, Castellanos, who had a down year. I think he'll be better. He batted .263 in a down year, so he still had a good year. The power was just not there. Alec Boehm, Bryson Stott, who's going to be a stud. Mm-hmm. I cannot wait for Bryson Stott to be good next year. Brandon Marsh, obviously, future 2023 World Series MVP.
Yep. Baby.
Yep,
yeah.
Gotcha. But I'm excited for this NL East. It was the most competitive division last year.
Yeah.
It's going to be probably the most competitive division
Braves
this
won
year.
it on a tiebreaker. Does the loss of Dansby and the addition of Correa now put the Mets over the edge?
You would think so, yeah. The Braves haven't done anything this offseason.
The Mets could always Met.
The Mets will Met.
The Mets
Mets will Met. Do I think they're going to necessarily win the division indefinitely? No.
No.
Because the Mets will Met.
The Mets will Met. They'll find a way into that first wild card spot.
As the season comes closer, we'll do our predictions and stuff. Let's just say, I think the Mets are going to Met.
The Mets will Met.
As Metsy as it getsy. It's got to happen. But still, I'm excited to watch this NL East because the Mets might Met, but they're still going to be a very good team.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. And
they'll win the championship in August, yeah.
I'm so excited. I'm so excited for this NL East to play out. It's going to be so much fun. It's so competitive. And this has just made me realize how bad the Central divisions are because there's absolutely no competition and it's boring. But that's besides the point right now.
Yeah.
The Eastern divisions are just... East Coast is the best coast.
East Coast, best coast.
I will say I love the West Coast too.
Fuck the left coast.
No, I'm just saying because the West Coast isn't... based on standings, was not as competitive as the East Coast was this season. That's why I'm basing my East Coast, Best Coast off. Because...
Fair enough.
It wasn't as it wasn't as competitive last season. The Dodgers ran away with their division. The Astros ran away with their division. It was kind of cut and dry.
Well, let's just get into the next thing that we've been kind of jumping around. Dansby Swanson signed a 7-year, $177 million contract with the Chicago Cubs. Clap it up for Dansby. Congratulations, Dansby.
Good job.
Arguably one of the best weeks for a human to ever have in the history of human beings. He gets married, goes on this what looks like a beautiful exotic vacation with his now wife on their honeymoon, and in the same week signs a $177 million contract.
Good for them.
Good for them.
Good for him.
Good for them. But he goes to the Cubs. What a shocker. Only one person I know has been saying it, me, that Dansby Swanson was going to end up in a Cubs uniform. It just made too much sense. His wife plays for the Chicago women's soccer team. He was going to leave Atlanta, and the Cubs were a team that wanted to spend. They brought in Jameson Taillon, and everyone was like, oh, that's the Cubs' big move. And then they brought in Dansby, which now it kind of pushes them in the direction of they want to try to get back into competition. However, they're still, I think, a little far away from it unless Bellinger takes that leap. Not Kodai Senga. Seiya Suzuki gets more well-adjusted to the league and plays well. Jameson Taillon becomes a great pitcher. They have too much up in the air, but it certainly puts them in the right direction.
Yeah, I'm not quite buying into the Cubs hype train yet.
Could they be the third wild card? Yes. Will they get bounced first round? Probably.
No, I don't think they could be the third wild card.
They could.
Listen. Their first 6 are decent, are pretty good, depending on how Cody Bellinger plays, because obviously they have Cody Bellinger too. Nico Horner's going to be a good player. He's going to play second probably. Dansby Swanson obviously is good. Ian Happ, good. Seiya Suzuki, I think he will get more adjusted to the league, although I think we forget that he did bat .262 last year, which is still very good.
Very good.
He played a lot of the season. Cody Bellinger, obviously, if he can return to even a shell of what he was, because he's not even a shell, he's gone.
Yeah, he's a whole new player.
Not good. And then you have Christopher Morel, who was a decent rookie, so I don't know. But then you look and they have no catcher. Their catcher is Yan Gomes.
Yeah.
That ain't cutting it.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that. They don't have a first baseman. Patrick Wisdom fell off a cliff. The those are the only people on their team. They still have so much more room. And then their pitching staff, I will say their pitching staff has the potential to be very good. So we'll see if it will be, but it does have the potential to be very good.
There's only one catcher that comes to mind when I think of Chicago Cubs. Wrigley. Yeah, I mean, if you're gonna play in Chicago and it's gonna be cold, you're gonna need somebody who can keep themselves warm a little bit. Gary Sanchez, you are a Chicago Cub.
I mean, that's the only other option.
It fits. It's like Dansby to the Cubs. It just makes sense.
Yeah, it's really the only other option. Who are they going to sign? Kurt Suzuki? Or no, he retired.
The shell of Kurt Suzuki. They'll sell just his jersey.
Yeah, they don't have anyone else to sign. There's no
Gary.
good options out there. Gary Sanchez is the only catcher option out there.
Roberto
Perez, no one's signing Roberto Perez. No. But even with Gary Sanchez, I don't think this team is going to make the playoffs.
It's either Gary Sanchez or they better get a fucking, a tiny stool because Yan Gomes cannot catch 162 games.
Yeah, exactly. It's just not going to happen. His knees are going to fall off. It's not within the scope of whatever is going on there.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really all I have to say. Like I said, the NL West is not going to be fun. I mean, maybe it will be.
That's the NL Central. But
the NL Central is not going to... I mean, maybe it'll be fun, but...
Who knows?
We'll see. I don't know. The Central divisions are just kind of in shambles right now.
I think, Cardinals, it's your division to lose, but...
100%. 150%.
The Brewers just strike me as a team that, I wouldn't be surprised if they were less than 5 games out by the All-Star break. You know?
They strike me as the opposite kind of team.
The Brewers?
For some reason in my head, the Brewers are they want to be better than they are.
Yeah.
And they're not that good.
I think that they're very good at playing to their strengths, and
Yelich improved this season.
Yeah.
Yelich did a lot better this season than in past seasons. His power wasn't really fully back, but he was hitting better than he was last season. You still have Willy Adames, who could be good. But then, the only really addition they made is William Contreras. I don't know. I'm not buying into the Brewers. I don't buy into the Brewers.
They still have a great pitching staff, too, which you have to imagine... Oh, excuse me. You have to imagine will win them games. Oh, my God, excuse me. Just having Corbin Burns himself. Everybody thought that when the Brewers started, tearing everything down and trading Josh Hader last season, that Corbin Burns would be the next pillar to fall because he's so valuable, and I can imagine 29 teams can come up with a package to try to trade for Corbin Burns. That's how much every other team in baseball would want him, but it looks like they're going to keep him, which is a good sign because it keeps it competitive. So Corbin Burns leading the charge there. Brandon Woodruff, who could have a nice turnaround, which would be fun. Lower the ERA a little bit. Eric Lauer.
I was going to say, he doesn't really need a turnaround. Brandon Woodruff was really good. He had a 3 ERA last season.
Yeah.
You can't ask for much more.
Well, you could ask for lower than 3.
You could, but I don't know if realistically you can.
Freddie Peralta, and having just Devin Williams himself in the bullpen, everything else is kind of okay, you can make out with what you got, but Devin Williams will be their closer this season more than likely, and his stuff, as we know, is nasty.
Yeah, I don't know. I still think the Cardinals are probably going to run away with the division as it stands. Arenado, Goldschmidt.
2 of the top 3 MVP finishers last season.
Yeah, that says something.
Yeah.
And one of them won MVP. It's not even that they just finished. One of them did indeed win MVP. I don't know. I like I said, the Central it's a very not confusing division, but it feels like anything can happen. Because the teams aren't. There's no Mets. There's no Mets in the Central Division. There's no Astros. There's no Dodgers. There's no teams that are this team is probably going to make it to the World Series this year. Everyone said that about the Dodgers. Everyone said that about the Astros. Everyone said that about the Mets.
Yeah.
So
we'll see.
Time will tell.
Yeah.
I'm excited. I wanted to talk about, like I said, the East Coast, but not the NL, the AL East. The Boston Red Sox DFA'd Eric Hosmer. It's ridiculous. The 2016 All-Star Game MVP.
The 2015 World Series champion first baseman. No, Eric Hosmer, you know what?
You suck.
I'm just going to say it. You declining to be traded in the Soto trade single-handedly took years off my life because you sent Luke the Duke Voit to the Nationals. Screw you, man. Hey, look at what you've done.
Wow,
Luke
he's flipping. He's flipping.
I mean, this is more for the sake of 2020 home run champion Luke Voit.
It's true. He did do that.
I'm upset, man. Like you Luke Voit on the Padres lineup this season would be a lot of fun. Even last season would have been a lot of fun to have him as a DH. Like, you took that away from not just me, from not just Alex, from baseball fans all over the world. That NLCS with Luke Voit stepping into the box would have been electric.
This is getting out of hand here.
So Eric Hosmer, I mean, congratulations. I still will own your jersey and wear it proudly, but
this is getting so
you
out of
messed
hand.
up.
I think
They're in free fall.
yeah, the Red Sox are in free fall. I wanted to talk about another team first, but we can talk about how the Red Sox are in free fall. I mean, they signed Justin Turner to like a 1-year deal, right? 2-year deal?
I think it's 2-year, actually.
2 years, $22 million for Justin Turner.
There's an opt-out, I believe.
Are they going to trade Rafael Devers? He's already said that he is going to test free agency next offseason. Same as DeGrom. Same thing that DeGrom said last offseason, that he was going to test free agency. Why wouldn't you just trade the guy? You get extreme value for him.
So this is where the Red Sox ownership group, which has kind of wanted the Red Sox to lose since 2019, basically. They won the World Series in 2018, had the MVP who batted like .346 in Mookie Betts, just an absolutely amazing season. And then 2019, you kind of fall short, whatever. Like, you still won a championship. 2020, they trade away their all-star, superstar face of the franchise, Mookie Betts, to the Dodgers, and that kind of started the free fall of the Red Sox. Then they sort of get lucky. They make it to the ALCS in 2021.
2021.
Yeah, they made it to the ALCS. And now, this offseason, they offer Xander Bogaerts an absolute joke of a contract. They basically added on 1 year to the opt-out that he was already going to take for $30 million extra. And now, seeing what the Padres offered him, it was obviously a joke of a contract. And Devers, who deserves more money than Bogaerts, and is younger than Bogaerts, it just all signs point to him, if he opts out, he's going to sign somewhere for $300 million. And I think that there are 20 teams that are willing to trade for Devers right now.
Oh, 100%.
And if the Red Sox don't do it, they're shooting themselves in the foot, because there's no way in hell, if they can't come up with the money to keep a homegrown star like Mookie Betts, like Xander Bogaerts, we're not going to see them come up with the money to keep Devers, especially after everybody else is gone.
Yeah, it's really interesting, because how do you go from 2 games away from the World Series,
right, to
just absolutely nothing? You lose 2 of your franchise guys. It's a very tough situation for them. I don't know. I want them to trade Devers. I want to see what package they get. More importantly, I want to see where he goes, because I think there are fits, but we'll talk about that in another episode. But I think there are good fits. I'm very excited to see. I don't really have much else to say about the Red Sox. They're just not good. Their owner hates them.
Their ownership
GM hates them. It's not good. It's not good times in Boston. No one is shipping up to Boston anytime soon.
Except for Justin Turner. I mean, and also they let JD walk. 1 year, $10 million. You're not going to keep JD Martinez around.
Yeah, he went to JD Martinez to the Dodgers. 1 year, $10 million deal. Like it for the Dodgers. He batted like .300 this season.
Yeah, he's going to
be a very good DH.
Plenty left in him.
Yeah, he's going to be a very good DH.
And it's just I don't understand what the Red Sox want to do. And if the Red Sox do want to lose and they want to, save money and try to wait for the next big ticket free agent that comes around when they have the stars coming up from the farm system, trade Devers. You're going to let one of arguably the best left-handed hitters in baseball just rot when he could be making an impact on basically 29 other teams. I mean, should I just say it now? Do I say it now?
No, you don't.
Rafael Devers.
Okay, don't say it.
You are an Oakland Athletic.
Okay, well, he said it. It's official, guys. Put it on the news. Put it everywhere. Rafael Devers to the Athletics.
Heard it here first.
No, I'm excited to see what happens. I mean, there's not much else for me to say really right now except Chaim Bloom and the Red Sox ownership group. You have failed Boston. You have failed everyone. You've taken what could have been a dynasty team and drove it into the ground.
Yeah.
Into the ground. Yeah, I'm disappointed in them.
That's just...
It's sad that
insane.
The Orioles are going to be better than them again next season. Because the Orioles have actually made good moves this offseason. They have signed Adam Frazier to a 1-year, $8 million deal. I think it's a great move from the Orioles, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. Get some veteran leadership in there.
Not only veteran leadership, but a guy who could be a very good player. They had Odor. He's basically taking Rougned Odor's spot, and it feels hard to do worse than Rougned Odor did. I mean, Rougned Odor was a great clubhouse guy, don't get me wrong, and he did do stuff with the bat, but I don't know. I've been saying that they should bring back Rougned Odor since before the offseason started, because they still should bring back Rougned Odor just because of how good he was in the clubhouse, and he's not even a bad player. He's what? Isn't he like 28 years old? He's not old either.
Odor?
Rougned Odor is very young. When he punched Jose Bautista in the face, he was 22. That was 2016. 6 years. He's 28. He's 28 years old, or 29.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous how young that guy is, but I think they should bring him back. They should definitely think about that because I love Rougned Odor. But yeah.
I got his jersey, man.
Yeah, that's just my opinion. But
bring it back to Texas.
I like the Adam Frazier. I like the Adam Frazier deal. I really do.
Oh my god! I just thought about something. The infield right now of the Orioles is first baseman. I don't know, folding chair maybe. Adam Frazier.
Folding chair, probably Mountcastle.
Maybe Jorge Mateo and Gunnar Henderson at third.
Gunnar Henderson's gonna be fun too.
What's stopping them? Because this makes sense now. From moving Adam Frazier to first base. Okay.
Mountcastle will stop.
No. Let me finish.
All right, go on.
Adam Frazier moves to first.
Who?
Adam Frazier moves to first.
Gotcha.
And because there's a logjam at third base now in the Mets organization, go get Brett Beatty. Just make it a young, fun, exciting, flowing hair team. Come on.
I can't
Brett
argue.
Beatty to the Orioles. I would buy the jersey.
I can't argue it. It sounds fun.
I'm gonna pre-order the jersey as we speak.
Honestly, do it. That'll be fun.
A Brett Beatty that works. Yeah, I like it. I like it. I'm gonna ride with this. Yeah, and I mean they could probably get like something back in return that's of value, which would be exciting. And knowing how bad the Mets farm system has been, it would make sense because the Orioles do have one of the better farm systems in the league. Definitely, should I call them top 5 farm systems?
Who?
Orioles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm excited to watch the Orioles this season because they have, like everyone knows, they were so good last season, a lot better than everyone thought they were gonna be. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it's so much fun. No one needs to tell you why the Orioles are so much fun. They also got back, I believe they got back Michael Givens, who they traded last season to the Mets. Michael Givens.
Oh, yes.
They have Felix Bautista, who is electric. He's a rookie. He was a rookie last year. Electric. I'm just so excited to watch the Orioles this season, bro.
Orioles?
Just looking at their lineup, like, it's not like a star lineup like the Mets, but it's a different kind of lineup as, like...
It's a different kind of fun.
It's a different kind of fun. It's a young fun. Yeah. Everyone is young. Like, look at the ages on their roster. The oldest now is Adam Frazier with 31. But then you got 28, 24, 21, 28, 25, 28, 25, 28. It's like, there's just so much young talent on this team, and I'm excited to see them do good next season.
I'm excited to see them do good, yes. Give me a full season of Adley now. That's going to be amazing.
I think Adley...
Say it. I know what you want to say. Say it.
Could be in the MVP talks.
There it is! I love hearing that.
I mean, if he played the whole season this year, I think he might have won Rookie of the Year over Julio. based on the fact that he's a catcher.
Yeah.
Because catchers like Adley are hard to come by nowadays. So
extremely hard.
Unless you're the Yankees and you have Jose Trevino, which brings me to my next point.
Let's hear it.
The New York Yankees have signed free agent starting pitcher Carlos Rodon to a 6-year, $162 million deal. Carlos Rodon, get your bag. Good job. What a move for the Yankees, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
That is a big move for the Yankees. Everyone knew after getting Judge, you can't stop there. And they weren't going to stop there. Everyone knew Rodon was next on the list for the Yankees. It was just a matter of what that contract would look like and how quickly they can get it done.
And they got it done.
They got it done.
You have to also remember that Rodon was very much his agency, the board's agency, was saying they're not accepting anything less than 7 years, $200 million. But I think that this was, Rodon saying, like, I want to be a Yankee. I want to be a Yankee. Get me to the Yankees.
I think the Yankees can win. I think that rotation is amazing. I think I want to be there.
Yeah.
Good for them. I mean, the Yankees rotation now, you got Cole and Rodon, which are two aces, lefty and a righty. Or rather, righty and lefty. Cole's a righty, Rodon's a lefty.
This is the last season of Severino.
Yeah, and then you got Severino, unless they re-sign him, which I think they probably should, because he's going to probably have a good year.
Yeah.
Sevy. And then you got Nestor, who was amazing last year.
Nestor, baby.
Under this body, there's an athlete. Nestor is just amazing. And then you have Frankie Montas, who was not good when he came to the Yankees. He didn't even play in the playoffs. They didn't think he would be a valuable piece in the playoffs, but they lost Tyone. So Montas is going to have to come in and be a good starter. And if Montas can be the starter that, like,
we know him to be.
I mean, not even necessarily know him to be, because it's not like he hasn't been he hasn't been Randy Johnson. He's been
was good in the second friendliest pitcher ballpark in baseball. Yes. How's that?
Yeah, exactly. His home splits with the Athletics were good, and it's like the most pitcher friendly ballpark in baseball, which probably says something. But as an Athletic, he had a 3.18 ERA. And then as a Yankee, he had a 6.35 ERA. So if he can be Oakland Athletic Frankie Montas, regardless of where he plays,
I'll take it.
I think it's very dangerous in this rotation. And this could be one of the best.
As a number 5 starter.
As a 5 starter, if he has a 3 ERA, I mean, that's amazing. Yeah. This could be one of the best. This could be one of the best rotations in baseball. Because you look at the Mets, but then you see the bottom, and you see Carlos Carrasco and Quintana, who are like toss-ups, basically. I mean, you look at the Yankees' first 4, Cole, Rodon, Severino, Nestor. We know all 4 of those are going to be good. And if Montas can be good, that's a dangerous rotation. Not to mention their bullpen is also... I'd say their bullpen is highly underrated. In that series against the Astros where they got swept, their bullpen and their starting was not a problem. It was their bats that was a problem, which obviously I still think they need to get more bats. Unless they do decide to let Anthony Volpe start on opening day, which I think they should do. They got to do the Jeremy Pena strategy. You just let him play, let him struggle a little bit, and he will. Especially with a guy who's been that good in AAA, he's going to adjust and he's going to be good. I think they just need to give him some time. I think you put him at short, and you have a very, very good team. You get Oswaldo Cabrera in the outfield. Oswaldo Peraza, depends on what you want to do with him. You could either put him back into AAA just for a little bit, or you can keep him as a bench piece. Nothing wrong with that.
You can play him at third, even if you really
play him at third. If Josh Donaldson just completely fizzles out again, which he was last season, terrible. You put in Oswaldo Peraza at third base, and you have this young infield of Peraza, Volpe, Glaber, and, Rizzo's just man in the infield. Anthony fucking Rizzo! Yeah. I think there is a vision for the Yankees to be this amazing young team next season with Aaron Judge and Anthony Rizzo leading them. They just need to make the necessary adjustments. And I think they really need to get rid of Josh Donaldson. I don't think Josh Donaldson should be on the team after the All-Star break unless he's playing very good.
Unless he is in the All-Star game, there's no reason for him.
If he bats 230 again or 220, there's no use of having him.
And pimps fly balls, yeah.
Yeah, and pimps fly balls. There's no need to have him. I also think Stanton needs to have a good bounce back season because he batted 211 last season. I don't think a lot of people realize that. Although playoff Stanton is a different monster.
That is true.
But
He's
still,
the best
I think
hitter of all time.
They're not getting rid of Stanton or anything. No way, no chance in hell. But I'm just saying that like it would be ideal if he can be MVP Giancarlo Stanton. Not even MVP. Even just 2018.
Give me 40 homers.
2019.
Give me 40 knocks.
40
dogs.
40 homers. He had 31 last year, but I'd say 40 homers and an over 250 batting average.
Yeah.
He needs to hit the ball. He can't just hit as hard as he can and hope for the best. Hope he gets the right launch angle. But yeah, the Yankees are everything's looking up. You know it's good when DJ LeMahieu's on your bench.
New York baseball itself looks great.
Yeah, New York sports looks great. The Rangers are doing good. The Islanders are doing good. The Knicks are on an 8-game winning streak. The Nets are on a 6-game winning streak. The Nets play the Warriors tonight, and the Warriors don't have Steph Curry. The Warriors just lost by 40 to the Knicks. So I don't know. New York sports is in a good spot.
Where do you want to go?
Well, I guess we could talk about next. If we're staying with the Yankees, we'll actually not stay with the Yankees, but a guy who was a Yankee last season. Joey Gallo. Joey fucking Gallo.
Joey Gallo gets a 1-year, $11 million contract from the Twins.
Interesting.
Joey Gallo for MVP, it's on.
I don't think Joey Gallo deserved $11 million.
Cody Bellinger didn't deserve however much he got, so...
Different. Yeah. I'd honestly say it's a completely different debate. I think Joey Gallo... their stats might be similar. I think Joey Gallo was 50 times worse than Cody Bellinger last season.
I think that was just...
Joey Gallo walked up to the plate with the mindset of, I'm about to strike out.
I'm going to not swing.
I am going to not do anything of use in this at-bat. That's what he did. But, Twins, good job. I mean, I don't know what else to say. Joey Gallo's a Minnesota Twin. What's going on? I mean, I wish I could strike out 500 times in a season and get $11 million. That's amazing.
I'd do it in a heartbeat.
No, I can't believe they gave him $11 million. I see the argument with Cody Bellinger.
This is a great turnaround season this is a great turnaround opportunity. I think the thing with Joey Gallo and something that he struggled with a lot after coming to the Yankees and then going to the Dodgers was he was in such a spotlight. I mean, it's a big market. You're expected to do well on teams that are succeeding and winning and doing great. Now, he's going to be in the backdrop of baseball. He's going to be in Minnesota, where they just lost Correa, so there's really no reason to watch a Minnesota Twins game unless you
for Joey Gallo.
For some reason, a fan. And, he's going to be able to sit back, relax, and do his own thing. And, I mean, give me 85% of what he was in Texas just 2 years ago. Give that to me, and I think he'll be just fine.
Yeah, I mean, he's just got to hit bombs is what he's there for. He's there to hit as many home runs as possible.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, batted 160 last season. He made $11 million.
That's insane.
It's ridiculous is what it is. But, Gallo. And I've heard that the Twins are looking to trade Max Kepler.
God knows where, though.
I've heard the Yankees.
I've heard the Yankees, I've heard the Dodgers, which I would find entertaining because it's like, okay, Max Kepler's a Dodger.
I gotta say, I think the only Twins game I watched last season, like specifically to watch the Twins, was when they almost got perfect gamed by Kershaw.
Yeah.
That's the only Twins game I've watched. It
was the Yankee games.
Right, but the only one that I watched, specifically just...
To watch
the game. Something was happening in the game that I wanted to watch. Yeah. Max Kepler, not great at all.
No, he's exactly like Aaron Hicks.
Not even. He's, dare I say, worse.
He almost is.
Aaron Hicks could be an all-star. Max Kepler could not be an all-star.
Yeah, Max Kepler, I mean, whatever team ends up with him, they're going to be looking to overachieve with him.
Aaron Hicks, though. It's just hard to look at.
Yeah, you can
Max Kepler and Aaron Hicks, you're right, are like very, very similar.
Yeah.
So, I don't know, we'll see.
Okay, where are we? For anyone wondering, behind on the other side of the camera, we have a whiteboard now with all of our topics that we go through. So I'm looking at that, trying to figure out where we go.
I think we're done.
I think we are.
I mean, the Astros are going to be good next season. The Padres are going to be pretty good. Do you have any rumors?
Nothing really.
The rumor mill?
The rumor mill.
Lewis's rumor mill.
It's not spinning too much. The only thing is
Actually, I like that idea. Let's make that a new segment. Lewis's rumor mill.
Lewis's rumor mill.
That's going to be a new segment.
Get it cranking. Get it cranking.
Lewis's rumor mill. Crank it up.
There's really nothing much. The Rangers have been in contact with Michael Conforto and Johnny Cueto, but Johnny Cueto kind of wants to go to Miami. But there's, of course, been no movement whatsoever. So it's all just up in the air. No one really knows what's happening. What are you doing?
No, don't worry about me.
I'm going to, because this is...
I'm just grabbing a thing.
Okay. Why are you grabbing a thing?
Because I don't have paper. But, yeah. No, I need more rumors. So you get me you get me the good rumors. The juicy rumors. I know there weren't many, but this is going to be a new segment now. Lewis's rumor mill.
Lewis's rumor mill. It will be a section at the end of the show.
We need juicy ones. Because that comes right before my favorite segment of this show.
Which is?
Bite or Spit. We're back for more.
We don't have to do this every time.
We're back for more Bite or Spit. Just a couple. Two. We'll do two. Bite or Spit. The NL East being decided by half a game or less next season. A game or less next season.
I'll bite it. I think it is separated by a game.
Separated by a game. Bite. You're gonna bite NL East.
Yeah.
The winner of the NL East is going to win by one game, or be tied
by one game, or have the tiebreaker.
Okay. I'm gonna spit it.
Okay. You really think the Marlins are gonna run away with the division?
Yeah. No. It's gonna be Marlins Nationals division next season. And then bite or spit. Michael Conforto being in the West next season.
I'll bite it.
You'll bite Michael Conforto being in the West.
There you go.
I'm spitting it. I think he'll be in the East.
All right.
Yeah, I mean, those are my two biter spits.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah. On episode today, baseball. We'd like to thank you guys for watching again. If you're still watching, subscribe, like, comment, share. Do what you can to support. We appreciate everything. We love you guys. We love doing this. If we didn't love doing it, then we wouldn't. So, that should be it. Thank you guys for watching. And we will see you next time. Peace.